Bellefonte Nuclear Facility, State of the County 2014. Presentation by Chairman of the Jackson County Commission, Matthew Hodges.
Hodges has grown up in Jackson County, graduated from Scottsboro High School. Immediately following graduation, he ran for and was elected to the Scottsboro City Council, where he served for 10 years. In November of 2012, he was elected chairman of the Jackson County Commission, which is the role he currently serves. He is an active member of the St. Jude Catholic Church. He attended Northeast Alabama Community College and transferred to the University of Alabama in Huntsville, where he received his Bachelor of Arts in Political Science as well as a Master's in Public Affairs. Matthew currently serves on the Board of Directors of the Ben Sanford Boys and Girls Club, and it's in Eagles County. Matthew is married to Dana Marie Hodges, and they're the proud parents of 2 boys. Please give a warm welcome to Matthew Hodges.
They asked me for a bio. If I knew he was going to read it word for word, I would have been a whole lot more. I appreciate the relationship with the Chamber. I thank you for doing this today. Thank you all for coming, and I'd like to thank TVA and the folks here at Bellefonte for hosting the event this morning. This is a fantastic place to hold events like this, I think. We're here to share information, and I think it's good to show what's going on here at the plant and how they're maintaining that. This is the second year I've had the opportunity to do this, and I hope that what I share with you today is informational. If I see someone falling asleep, I can start a sing and dance routine, so that may be your motivation to stay awake while we go through this. But there's a lot of information that I want to share. That this county is going through a lot of changes. I think that there are a lot of positive things going on. Of course, obviously, always difficult challenges we have to face as well. But I'm proud of the things that we're doing. I'm proud of the relationships we have, and I just want to share some of that information with you today. If I can find the clicker here. Well, I was going to say some nice things. Let me mark that out. The picture here is a picture of the 1912 courthouse immediately after the fire was rebuilt construction. I thought it was a nice picture. From a postcard, I appreciate that. A little bit of different culture there. I wanted to first talk about the county commission, introduce our county commission, and I do apologize. I tried to find a better picture. This is the best I can find. We have a fantastic commission, a great group that we're working with, a great team. We've had some challenges obviously come our way from time to time, and we don't always agree, but we have been able to work things through the resolution, and I'm confident that we'll be able to do that with whatever challenges face us. And I would like to real quickly introduce the county commission. District 1, Tim Guthrie, if you would stand up. Jason Venable, District 2, Dennis Miller, District 3, and Stacy Ledwell, District 4. These guys have been fantastic to work with, and of course the direction of the county is attributed to them as well as a lot of the other elected officials. So if we could give them a round of applause. Now you see districts beside each of these commissioners' names, but one important thing, one fantastic thing, and I think this has been a staple of the commission, we're not about just our districts, we work for the whole county. Of course, we run it large, even though we have to live in the district, we run it large. So we want to be sure that we represent all the citizens of the county. So I know that we cross district lines when it comes to certain different situations, but I'm proud that you can call any one of these commissioners and they'll work with you to get things done. They may refer it to the district commissioner based on the location. It may be easier for that commissioner, but we will work with you in any way possible. So it's a fantastic relationship, and I hope that we can continue to see some positive things work forward as we go through our next couple years of service. I wanted to talk to you about our county departments, kind of list out the different departments and agencies that we have. Emergency Management Agency, Mike Ashburn is the head of that. I don't know if it's Mike here this morning. Public Works Department, Philip Widener, our engineer. Sanitation, Philip into the county's routine. We've taken some more responsibility on it. I'm enjoying the relationship we have, and I hope that through the process the county is able to get in and provide senior services or support the senior services in this county even to a greater extent as we go through. But I'm learning a lot about it, and I really appreciate the education and the relationship there. And then our Parks and Recreation Department, I'll talk about some of the positive things we've got going on there a little bit. Carl Barnes is the chief over that. County offices, we have the commission office obviously, and I think all our staff in the commission office is here, and Bob Manning is the administrator. In a minute, I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget, and I just want to go ahead and give Mr. Manning his props where his props are due. He has done a fantastic job over the past couple of years, or the past year, getting us the information we need and really helping us to get things organized. So the things that we're seeing today and the direction we're headed is in no small part due to the work that he's done. So very much appreciate the work that he's been involved with that. And all of the folks in the office, they've supported this and had a lot of information for us. Revenue Office and Mapping and Appraisal, both operated by Ron Crawford. The Probate Office, Judge Victor Manning, I think, here today, and as well as the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Chuck Phillips. Now, I put all these different offices in these departments. That's kind of the things when we talk about budgets and we talk about numbers. These are the ones that we directly relate ourselves to. We fund or support in some way all of these departments. So we have a direct relationship from a budget standpoint with all of these departments. And we have fantastic relationships with the elected officials here. We've been working hard, they've been working hard with us. They know the situations that we've had financially, and I'm proud that they have worked so hard with us in reducing budgets and making this thing work. So it's important that I mention that. Now, in addition to these offices, and I'll talk a little more about, I guess, our relationships, but we do have several other offices, the judges in the courthouse, a lot of the state offices. We basically provide a place for these, the courts and the court system to have its offices and things going on. So there is a very good relationship there. Of course, we've got a good communication process there working with them. So the biggest thing, state of the county, where we're at, where we've come from, where we're going as far as our budget. That obviously has been one of the biggest issues that we've faced since we've been in office, and I want to share a little bit of information about how we've where we're at on that. Now, I think that everyone will remember we began with an estimated $1.2 million budget deficit, and that was back when we first came into office. That was what was adopted. Now, there were funds to pay for that deficit, obviously, and cash to fund that, but expenses exceeded revenues by that amount. After we got to looking a little bit more into the process, we saw that that was a little bit larger. There were some things that were not budgeted. There were some revenues that were decreased in that year. So that deficit was actually a little bit larger as we got through the year. In the 13-14 fiscal year, last year, we passed a $900,000 budget deficit. Didn't want to, but of course we want to take our time to make sure that we're doing the right things as far as what we're doing with the taxpayers' money. So we did pass a deficit budget last year, and in that time, there are a few more revenue decreases and a couple more things that were found that needed to be budgeted. So that was just a little bit more than the $900,000 after all was said and done. And then this year, we're looking at about a $400,000 deficit. Now, all of these are beginning year budgets. Each year, we have cut the budget significantly through the year. So where we started with a 1.2 or more, maybe 1.6, 1.8 million in that first year, we cut a significant amount through the year to get us down to 900,000. We didn't do all that in the budget time, or in the budget process in August to get that 900. That was something that's done through the year. And the same thing for this year. And that's what we're working towards. It's a constant process. It's something that we're constantly looking at, constantly working on, and constantly working to understand. There are a lot of ins and outs, especially in governmental accounting. And as we learn more about that and understand more about that, we're getting things worked out. Now how have we cut these budgets? The biggest part has been through employees, not filling employees' positions that have gone out, as well as we had an employee retirement incentive that we passed not too long ago, and we're seeing employees that have taken that, so that's helping our budget situation out as well. In addition, we've cut out anything that we could find as far as the extra stuff, or what we call fat pork or whatever else. We've cut out a lot of that at the beginning. So we're pretty trimmed down, and we've got to figure out where we're going and what we plan to do as we go forward. We've had a lot of changes in the way that our budgeting process is done and the way that our budgets are kept. And I believe that we'll be able to correct more of this deficit as we make more changes and change our processes still even further. We have a lot, we've come a long way. We still have a little bit of ways to go. But I believe after we get to tracking this in a couple of years, we're going to be able to solve some more of these deficit problems. And I think we're looking at some alternative revenue possibilities as well to see what we can do to get this deficit in line. The big thing, obviously, is we need to have a growth situation so that we can participate in growth in the county. One thing that I do want to mention, we've not stopped doing business. We've been working through the deficit situation, but we've not stopped doing business. We're here to help all the communities, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But I am proud that we've continued to do all that we can, even through this situation. One more thing that I do want to make sure we understand. Even though we have a deficit, there is cash in the bank. There is money to cover this deficit for a little bit longer. Now, we couldn't have handled that $1.2 million deficit for very long. That would have been a difficult situation, but we've got it now to a manageable level. And of course, the goal is to pass a deficit-free budget, pass a budget where your revenues exceed your expenditures. We have to do that. We have to be fiscally responsible, and that is our goal. Whether we do that this year or do that as the year progresses, that will be done, and I'm confident that'll be done before our next budget next year. Just a real quick education, I guess, on our revenues and expenditures. I think it's interesting to know kind of where our revenues come from. The general fund, TVA in lieu of taxes, account for 30% of our general fund budget, which is a pretty substantial portion. Of course, we've seen some of that reduced over the past years with lower power sales. Ad valorem revenue fees is 45%, so that's your property taxes and a lot of fees that come through the revenue office. Then other sources, we've got several other small sources that account for 25%. They may be certain tax fees or other probate fees and things like that. Now, with the way we budget, I'll try not to bore you too much with how everything works out. Public Works is funded strictly by gas taxes. One very problematic thing there is, of course, gas taxes at state level, and the cost to pave has increased tremendously. So we have to find a new way to fund our paving and take care of our roadways in the future. That's something I know we're constantly thinking about, but that's something that's also going to be required, and I think by the state to look at it. It's not just a county problem, it's a statewide problem. Our jail, 20% funded by court fees. Our general fund supplements 80%, the other 80% of that, and then solid waste in the county park are self-funded through their fees and their rentals. And law, we did get 2 local laws passed last year that would allow us to take a 5% charge off the solid waste fees to help with administration. We handle the payroll and the finance and things like that. And then the county park, we can take the excess revenue. I'll explain more about how that'll work. Our expenses, general fund, include courthouse, EMA, probate, revenue, sheriff, and any state entities that we provide support to. It's about $7.8 million for the general fund. Now you'll see the jail is $2 million, but 80% of that is included in that $7.8 million. So, but wanted to kind of share the cost of that. Public Works, $3.5 million, solid waste $2 million, and the park is a $625,000 per year budget. So, all right, I want to talk about relationships a bit. I've talked about or mentioned about the relationship we've had with mayors, towns, and all. Some of the relationships we have are financial. Some of them are in other ways. We work with them in various ways. But I'm proud to say, and I've seen several mayors here, I think that we've worked with them and we'll continue to work with them in any way that we can. We've got a fantastic relationship with the Chamber of Commerce. We've worked hard with them over the past few years, of course, working to see what more can be done in the county to promote business growth and business development, retail development. And I think, again, it's been 2 years, but we're still in the early processes from our standpoint, from my standpoint, still learning and still growing and understanding how the processes work and what our relationship can be with that. But we do have a good relationship in working with the chamber. The Economic Development Authority, very important aspect, industrial growth. This is the part I've learned a whole lot about since I've been in this position. I had the opportunity to learn about industrial growth and things like in the city. I think the city of Scottsville does a fantastic job with the IDB board there. But being involved here now has helped me understand a lot more countywide. So I appreciate the relationship there. And I know there are a lot of things that we're working towards to get things done there. Our schools, we've got the superintendent of the county schools I know I saw here. We've got a good relationship with the school system. We've been working well with them, and they've been working well with us. And I really appreciate the relationship that we have there and look forward to the things to come in the future for this county with that. Health department, we do support the health department in several ways. Volunteer fire departments. I couldn't, basically, I think everyone in here, hopefully we've worked with or helped out with in some way. If we haven't, you can see one of our commissioners here. I'm sure they'll think it's, but we're here to help. That's my point in talking about the relationships here, is that we want to work with the organizations in this county to promote them and the things they do for our citizens. We want to be involved in that aspect, and we hope that we can help the organization if in any way possible. And of course, it's a two-way street. We need to work together. I think that is going to be the true statement for where this county goes, is if we can continue to work together as groups, continue to work together to make this county a better place. Now, one that I didn't mention, our legislative delegation. I know that we're looking at a new delegation coming up. We've had a fantastic relationship with the delegation. I think we'll have a fantastic relationship with whoever that delegation is going to be in the future, and we're going to work together again to make this county a better place. A lot of the things that the county can do is restricted by the state, so it's important that we have that relationship with the legislative delegation. So I'm confident that we're going to be able to continue that in the future. Johnson Industry, as I mentioned, we've had a fantastic relationship, good working relationship with the Economic Development Authority and the Chamber of Commerce. Want to talk about the spec building. I know we've get a lot of comments about the spec building on 72, and it's sat there for some time. There is a lot of activity there, and I appreciate Mr. Hodges for the work that he does and getting folks to take a look at that. Obviously, we need someone to move in or come in around it, and I think that a lot of the business that has come to Scottsboro in the past years is a result of the spec building program that was initiated. So folks know about us. It's just getting those industries to land here. One thing that we don't talk about enough, I don't think, is the local industry. The industry that we have in Jackson County district that are creating new jobs. Now, last year we had 275 jobs in local industry in this past year. I think that's important because we always look at what's coming in and what's next, but we really need to pay attention to what our current industries are doing. That's something that I hope, and I've been trying to learn a little bit more about the industries here in Jackson County, taking some tours of the facilities and seeing what we can do as a county to help them, because those are the folks that are employing our people now, and those are the folks that are if things go well, we treat them well, and of course they want to work with us, they're going to be here for a long time. So keeping them, I think, is a huge part of industrial development. Working with TVA regarding Bellefonte and other areas of development. This is a good one, especially for the facility we're in today. We have been working tremendously hard with TVA to see what the possibilities are, what they can do to help Jackson County move into the future, both economically, industrially, recreationally, any opportunities that are available. Of course, there's a group of community leaders here that meet with TVA officials very regularly to have those conversations. We continue to push to see something done with the Bellefonte nuclear plant. We continue to push to see what can be done with the coal plant. But we're looking at other opportunities as well, whether it be working to bring folks in for industrial development or things that may be recreational opportunities that TVA can assist us with. So there are a lot of opportunities there, and I want you to know that we are working with them. There is a lot of discussion going on, and that there is relationship there with TVA as far as that working relationship with these folks. And I truly believe that we're going to see some fantastic things happen for Jackson County in the future as we continue to build that relationship and push for some more positive things in that. Active with the Chamber of Promotional and Commercial Growth, as I noted earlier, and we are looking to see what more can be done throughout the county with that. Our county recreation, we're putting a lot more focus on the boat ramps throughout the county. I know that there's some question on the boat ramp in Mud Creek. The boat ramps are actually owned by the state, or the county has a relationship with them to maintain those. And we realized how big a part of recreation and tourism and that these boat ramps are for the county. So we put a little extra effort, and we'll be putting even more effort in the coming years into maintaining these and making these a place that folks definitely want to come and get out on the lake. That helps our businesses that are nearby, so it's important that we do that. Looking to expand our parks department, we're working on a master plan for County Park. This is something that I'm very excited about. There are so many opportunities for a county park there in Scottsboro, and we want to see what those opportunities are. I've got a rough draft right now of what we're looking at, but I hope to be able to present that in the next month or two, present a final master plan for county parks so that we can begin some processes and progress on that. And I appreciate what was done prior. It's important, now that we have the relationship we do out there, obviously, we're able to do a lot of things, and I think this master plan is going to do a lot for our county, recreation-wise. Hopefully it'll help us out a little bit revenue-wise as well. But the important part, obviously, is providing more recreation, bringing more folks into the county. And then we're looking at other opportunities with the state, whether it be other sites for county park locations or different trail activities that we've been discussing. I hope that in the coming years we'll be able to discuss more about what we've got going on there. Another focus of this commission has been sustainability. Financial sustainability, which we talked about. We have a landscape committee at the courthouse. I think this is an important thing. We have to present ourselves well if we're going to be asking industries to come here. So we have a landscape committee together, and they're working to come up with a plan for the courthouse lawn so that we can maintain that and present ourselves even better. We've been doing small things around the courthouse. I hope folks will notice those. I think I was in office for maybe 2 months before I looked up and saw what was going on around me to notice, what everything looked like. And we need to put some effort on taking care of our courthouse and the area around it. The recycling program, we started a recycling program out in the county. I think we have 3 sites right now. This is going to be a fantastic thing for the county. We just received a grant. In fact, we voted Monday night to accept that grant for, is it 4 new bins? So we'll set up another 2 or 3 locations, I believe, off of that, and hopefully continue to grow our recycling program. This is important for a lot of reasons. One, it saves us from what we're having to put in the landfill. There are costs associated with that. But another important thing is as we move towards sustainability and trying to take care of our resources, it's important that we get the countywide recycling going. It's all drop-off now, but I'm proud to say that we've had the resources to get it going, and it's going to be a fantastic thing as we grow in the county. Now, this last year we participated in Sparkle and Shine Month. The City of Scottsboro does that, and we've participated this last year for countywide. Another important thing, and we had a small program this last year, but we plan to grow that program as we go on to help clean up around the county and encourage folks to bring things and again, clean up around their areas. So again, that's another positive thing that ties to recycling and some of the other things we're doing. And then our energy projects, I went to visit Caldwell School last week to take a look at the projects they're doing. I know that the county school board is looking at doing some things, but there are definitely some possibilities for saving money in the long term by taking care of our energy issues that we have. Of course, the courthouse is one of the biggest problems as far as energy consumption and how that's set up. So we're continuing to look at that. We've talked to a few folks on that. Hopefully we'll come up with a solution in the near future on what can be done and participate with everyone else for ourselves and whoever that helps out for the whole county. Communities. So as I said before, we're here to help the communities in any way that we are able. We want to be involved in our communities to the extent that we're needed. There helped out with over this past couple of years with different communities. Paint Rock Valley Bridge, which was actually a cooperation, and I think a fantastic example of cooperation between TVA, the county, the community out there, and then several state wildlife and other agencies in doing that. So of course that's a fantastic operation that was conducted, and I hope to see more things like that. We're constantly working on water projects, our CDBG grants. We've got one going on County Road 33 right now, and I've been asked a lot of times about the Wanville area, and I hope to find a solution for the Wanville area and see some possibilities there in the coming years as we work on these water projects. Looking at possibilities to promote youth senior centers where they're needed. We've helped out with the Bridgeport and Woodville sidewalk projects. Both of those, I think, are involved with the school system and the communities there. And of course, we've got the big sidewalk project going on downtown Scottsboro, which we're participating in. Of course, the inner side of the courthouse square is something we're responsible for. So we're kind of working with the city of Scottsboro to do that, and they'll do the outside. But that's going to be a fantastic thing. Again, we're promoting growth and redeveloping our downtown area. And I think hopefully that will stimulate some of the other things, some of the other businesses to do the same. It's a great example again of the relationship we have with the city of Scottsboro in this project. But what I'd like to see and hope to see is, as we see some of these things happen, is try to work with our other communities, Bridgeport, Stevenson, others with downtown areas, to do some similar things as we go in the future. This is going to be a good test and see how this process works. But I think it's a fantastic start to, again, working on our downtown areas in this county and seeing what we can do to enhance those and make those a better place for living and recreation. So again, we're here to help wherever we can. There are tons of other projects. Like I said, I know every mayor in this room, I believe we've had some relationship, work with them on some type of project in the past. Of course, we're going to continue to do that in the future. So I appreciate that. It's been very enjoyable being able to help out those with all these different projects. And finally, communication. We had last January, I believe it was, an employee meeting to kind of discuss some of the issues, some of the concerns that were going on in the county. What we'd like to do is make that an annual event, something that we can communicate to the employees every year, kind of what this same information, what the state of the county is, what's going on, what are some of the changes that are being made, where we're headed. I think that's incredibly important, obviously, for the employees to know. So I think that'll be a positive thing as far as communicating with them. We started, when we first came to office, the community meetings, which we have in separate districts. We just had our District 2 meeting in High Top, went very well. But we've had good participation in all of these. And again, this is an important part, not just for us to share what's going on, but one of the best things is we find out what's going on in that community. And of course, we try to see if there's anything that we can do to help out in that community. We are working on a new website that's being created as we speak. That's going to be positive as far as getting information out there, whether it be meeting minutes or meeting agendas, contacting your commissioners, several different things. It's important. This is going to be a fantastic way as far as 21st century goes to communicate, get information out there. And we do have a Facebook page, so if you haven't liked us, please do. And if you don't like us, I don't think there's a don't like button. Our goal is to educate the citizens on what we're doing and why we're doing it. If we could pass all types of resolutions and whatever ordinance we could do and do all kinds of things, but if the citizens of this county don't know what's going on, then it really is all for naught. So that's why I'm here today. That's why we have those community meetings that we have. And every one of these commissioners, I know they get calls all the time, and they try to share that information with folks. So we appreciate folks, one, coming and talking to us, but we want to be able to, because we want to be able to share that information. And of course, we want to hear from citizens. I'll talk about our tree in just a moment. If there are questions or comments, feel free, please, to call the office or come up to the office. The important thing is that we hear from citizens and hear the things that they have to share. And of course, if we have something to share, I hope that you'll take that as well. But we've got to have that communication, that open communication. That's another important part of what's going to make this county a better place, is if we're communicating and talking, whether we agree or disagree or whatever else. We want to have that open line of communication. That process is still being discussed. There's still some things to be done. I think the committee on that is close to being formed. As that committee gets formed, we'll have a little bit better understanding of the direction that that's going to go. So that's something, again, stay tuned for and see what's going to happen with that. No decisions have yet been made on who, what, when, where, why. So we'll continue to look at that, discuss that, and hopefully get some thoughts from this committee that may help guide whatever decision is going to be made on that. The maple tree out front, which that's not the maple tree. Hopefully, no, it's not. I did want to share that with you. I've had a whole lot of questions about the maple tree out front, and we have had several folks come in now and do their studies and tests. We've got one more coming in, hopefully tomorrow or Friday. They'll be here to give us a study on that. Again, we put the information out there. We got the citizens' feedback. I'm no forester, so I wasn't sure exactly what to do. I was going on the information I have, so this is good. This is a perfect example of the citizens communicating to us so that we know, oh, maybe we should look at this a different way or approach this a different way. So we are getting all the studies done that we can and getting some better understanding of what's going on with that, and hopefully we'll have some information on that after the end of this week. Like I said, as you've seen, I've not covered, I know I've taken up all my time plus some more, and I've not been able to cover really, maybe touch on half the stuff of what we've got going on. It's a constant process, it's a constant program of what we're working on and what we've got going on in the county. And I want to emphasize that we have a lot going on and we'll continue to work to move the county forward. We're trying to do a lot in a lot of areas, and I hope this gives you a little idea of that today, and working with various organizations to get it done. And I honestly cannot tell you how much I appreciate the relationships with folks that we have, from all the folks in the courthouse, to the folks in our departments, to the folks, to the mayors in the towns, and all the various organizations that we work with. I think there's a fantastic group of people in leadership in this county that we can really make some things happen. We've just got to continue to work together, and I think we're going to see that happen. The commission has several goals, but I think the one and perhaps the most important goal is and should be that we are working to provide good, responsible, and informed government. And I know that's a lofty goal, but that's something that we continue to strive towards, continue to work towards. And I think a lot of these things we talked about today, I hope that shows you that we're doing our best to do that. And we'll continue to work our hardest to bring that type of government to the people of Jackson County. I look forward to working with all of you and continue the relationships that we have as we move forward to that goal. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to serve you. May God bless us. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. If there are any difficult questions, I think Mr. Guthrie and Mr. Levin have all take those. Any questions? Questions, comments, criticisms, or concerns? I'll open it up. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hodges. Gary Morgan. The commission's had some problems in the past with open government. Y'all have made tremendous advancements and there's been improvements. But there have been a couple of instances involving open government, which I want to ask you a question about. Those instances, number one was a secret settlement with the past administrator, and number two was this 10 Commandments issue where attorneys were met with from the Freedom Foundation in secret. So with that, in taking that in consideration, what's your position in improving open government for the citizens of this county?
I think this commission has worked very hard, as I said, through the communication standpoint, to try to share with folks, the information and the things that are being done. We've had a couple of executive sessions, and every time we've done that, it has been certified. Everything has qualified for what has been done for. However, I think this commission wants to limit those executive sessions as much as possible. And as we go forward and as we learn a little bit more about some of those processes, you'll see, hopefully, that we do limit those as much as possible. There's some times where they're absolutely necessary, but in some occasions, or other occasions, if we need to have that discussion, and only do it if it's absolutely necessary. because we do want to share the information that's going on in this county. Share that with the public. They need to know the decisions we're making because it is their dollars. We are there to serve them.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Chairman,
Yes.
y'all plans to recommend for that, y'all consider taking a look at the apartment zones on Broad Street and side of Paint Good School.
The what?
The parking space.
I think that's been mentioned. I think that'll be a decision the city's made, but I think they've looked at that, and I think that'll be eventually get solved. He's talking about the parking spaces beside Payne's there. I know it's a little difficult to get 2 cars in between there, but I think the city's going to have that handled. Other questions or comments? Did I lull everyone to sleep pretty well? Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate the gentlemen that I have the opportunity to work with. We have a fantastic crew of folks. I know, as I said before, we're going to continue to work hard for the county, continue to move the county forward, and work with all the relationships that we have to do that. It could not be done without all the various folks in this county. So again, thank